Welcome everyone, today we are unboxing the Galaxy S23 Ultra. I have got it in this beautiful green looking colour here, and there you can see the box is absolutely tiny. Like well, the length is massive, but the girth is just not what everyone expected. So we're going to move the camera angle so you get a down view on it so you can actually see what I'm unboxing. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, I used to have the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, which was the normal, obviously Note 10 with the smart case, or I don't know what they call it, the Galaxy smart case or whatever it is. And then we have upgraded to the S23 Ultra. So yeah, we upgraded to the S23 Ultra and it came today. It weren't meant to get here till the 17th, so I'm super pumped that it actually turned up today. And I have already set it all up and I've already looked at every little thing and got it all set up, so I don't need to do any of that on the video because that's not what people want to see. They want to just sort of see the actual phone itself and what's in the box and all that sort of stuff. So the first thing that caught my eye, obviously, was how thin this box is. And I don't know if it was my sister or my nephew that mentioned you don't get the plug anymore. That sort of threw me off. I'm very shocked that you don't get the plug. So if I want to sell the old phone, I now can't, well, I need the plug, right? But anyway, let's jump into this and see what we start off with. It's taken off the lid. Obviously you start with your little manuals that no one ever reads because, you know, warranty and all that sort of jazz, no one really cares. Then you started with this nice sort of black little box here, and that has your charging cable and your pin to release the SIM card. And then your charging cable is literally a C to C charging cable, and that is it. That's in the box, that's that. And then you're greeted with this beautiful array of cameras here, which was really off-putting at first because I didn't really want to get it out, drop it and smash one of these cameras, because if they smash, yeah, you're sort of screwed. But it is a beautiful phone, and when I took this off, the green was just, it's such a nice green. It's not too dark, it's not too bright. It's a very subtle sort of olive forest green, and it's beautiful. So the one thing that threw me about the S23 here compared to the Note 10, say about 2 weeks ago, I only just peeled off that protective layer that you get when you get a phone brand new. It's not a screen protector, it's nothing like that. It's just a small film that you peel off once you get a brand new phone. It's just to stop smudges and scratches while it's inside the case or transport or whatever it is, I don't know. Just dust protection basically. And I only just took it off about 2 weeks ago. That's why the screen looks so fresh on a phone that I've had for almost 3 years. This is what threw me with the Samsung S23 Ultra. It didn't come with a small film. This is the screen. It came with this little black film here that's quite sticky on the back, so that obviously collects all the dust when you peel it off. But you can't keep it on there. Obviously it's black. You can't see through it, you can't use it. It's once it's off, the screen is bare. And because it's a new phone, I haven't got a screen protector, I haven't even got a case for it, so I'm very delicate with my stuff. I normally go for something to protect it at least when it's brand new, and then throughout the time of using it I will always wipe the screen clean, take care of my products, because at the end of the day I use it and I want it to be in the best quality possible. But yeah, it really threw me off that the screen has no sort of film that I can keep on, but yet the sides do. So I don't know if you can see here in this corner here, there is a small piece of film that I can peel off that goes around the bezel of the phone. And also on the back of the phone, I don't believe there is any sort of film. I think that is literally the back of the case. So again, the front and the back, no protection, but the sides, perfect protection with a small film there to stop from dust, scratches and all the good stuff. But this one is the Ultra, so it does come with the S Pen. Similar to the Note 10, comes with an S Pen. This one I'm guessing is more precise. I'm sure this one is the Snapdragon 2 Gen processing chip, so it's super fast compared to the Note 10, which I've actually noticed opening apps. And also typing as well is super responsive. The screen is crystal clear, and the cameras, having that 200 megapixel camera in the middle just gives that crispiness. If you go into your cameras and then you go over to more, you have your Expert RAW here at the top. That's where it opens up this new tab of features that you can do. Your ISO, you can continue to customize your ISO, your shutter speed, which is insane for a phone to have a shutter speed that you can control up to 1/12,000. 1/12,000, that is insane shutter speeds. So you can capture the fastest of fast I'm going to say sort of the 1/125 or 1/250 is sort of a good shutter speed if you're going for that sort of fast car action, I guess. But if you need anything faster, this can do the job. The iOS I like to control roughly around, 100 to sort of 400, because then it gives you the nice natural light and it's not too overexposed. So there is autofocus on this, and there is also manual focus, which I believe is also the f-stop. That is crazy how much detail that can pack into. I'm not sure if you're seeing this on the camera, but how much detail that packs into such a micro shot. So like I said, the focus is also like an f-stop. It chooses how much depth is in the background and so forth. And then you have obviously your white balance where you can change it from a cool to a warmth. But you can create presets. So when you want to take a certain photo in a certain sort of light, you have your presets here that you can create from that. And then you up top here, you have like your 50 megapixel, or it goes to 12 megapixel on taking raw photos. And then if you are in your standard photo, you go to the top part here and you can go to 200 megapixel, which is just crispy clean with autofocus, auto balance for whites and iOS, all that sort of stuff. I don't really notice that it's an insane sort of looking camera. Maybe that's just because I'm used to actually using DSLRs and different lenses to get that crispier shot, where this is just a standard digital camera that will auto do everything. So the size comparison is massive. The screen size, color quality, it's crispier, it's more definition. But if you notice, the contrast on the Note 10 is actually better on this photo than it is on this one. My face is more in line, but it feels a bit more squished in, but it's in line with natural colors, so my skin tone, where this one looks a bit more washed out. It's not so crispy bright, but then that could just be how the screen's manipulated this photo from this phone, this camera, to this phone's display screen. So far, obviously I've only used it for maybe an hour or so. I'm loving the speed. So let's test out the speed quickly. We'll open up Instagram. As you saw, the S23 did load that up just that slightly bit faster. It's not massive, it's not huge. Same with TikTok. Again, the S23 was a lot faster with opening up TikTok compared to what Instagram was like. So now let's do Twitter, see how fast that is. Again, the S23 outdoes it by just that slight path. Now for YouTube. Oh, the Note 10 actually loaded up the thumbnails and everything else quicker, but the S23 opened the app faster. So let's try that again. Okay, no, the S23 just had a little bit of a, give me a break. For the last app, we'll open up Vero and see how that does. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, fair enough. They both opened at the exact same time, but the S23 just had that slight bit extra advantage with opening up the actual feed and getting everything loaded in behind in the background. But then again, you have to think, the Note 10, for how old this phone is compared to the S3 that only just come out with the fastest CPU chip a phone has ever seen, the Note 10 keeps up relatively well. Now, the last thing I want to test is obviously the pens. So we're going to get out the S23 pen and we're going to get out the Note 10 pen. So I don't know if you can see, but the S23 pen is more of a matte finish, where the Note 10 pen is more of a gloss. They do both still have the exact same sort of length and button size, same everything. You can actually use any S Pen on either device. So this is the S23 pen, works perfectly fine. This is the Note 10 pen, works fine. This one works fine. Again, that one works on there, that one works on there. So what we're going to do, the only thing I've noticed is the nib of the S23 is a lot finer, feels a lot more smoother to actually draw with or write or touch the screen with. It doesn't feel so much like this one where it's like a Nintendo DS pen. We are now in the drawing app. I'm just going to choose the same pen so they're all the exact same. Number two, actually we'll go number 4. So the same pens. And as you can see, the S23, 1 has a larger screen and 2 is a lot brighter compared to the Note 10. But we're going to test the S Pens and see if they're both responsive at the same time. That felt super weird. That felt super weird. So the S23 pen is more spongy and it doesn't feel like you're actually drawing on a phone. It feels like pen and paper because it's got this weird texture in the nib where the Note 10, it feels very much like it's gliding along the screen. It doesn't have this textured feel to it, like this rubberized end here. It feels super nice to write with. Oh my God, that is amazing. If I write hello here, and then write hello on here, I mean, you can tell which one has obviously the better handwriting because this just feels like if I use this on here, that still has some sort of a glidey feel to it, where this screen, I don't know what it is. What does this one feel like on here? Even the old S Pen feels smoother on this screen surface of the S23 compared to the actual Note 10 that it came with. This feels very glassy, very silky, very slidey. This one feels like a matte screen, like it's got a PaperLike screen on, like my iPad does. It's actually incredible to draw on. I think I might be taking notes a lot easier using this pen. I think I will use this pen because I rarely use this. So another thing about these is with the Note 10, the buttons are on the left side. On the S23, they're on the right side. I'm not saying they're the same phones. Obviously, the Note 10 is nowhere near the S series. This is a completely different phone, but they are by the same people and very relatively similar. So that's the only reason I use the Note 10 as a comparison, because it has the S Pen. So this is the S23. It's the phone that I use daily for the last 3 years. This is the new phone and I wanted to check the speeds. And I'm very, very surprised how the Note 10 keeps up so well with a brand new phone. Say you want to go from an iPhone to an Android. I recommend don't go for the brand newest phone if you're not used to them, because obviously a lot of people go from iPhone to sort of Samsung and they're not too keen on it, so they want to switch back. So go for a Note 10. They're relatively cheap. They're old phones, but they're reliable. And you know, if it can keep up with an S23 at this sort of stage, then that's worth every penny. And I've used it for the last 3 years and I wouldn't fault the Note 10. I'm sad to see this go, but I'm also excited to start with a completely new version of, technically, a Note 10. It is exactly the same, just in a bigger body, a better camera, and a very, very nice S Pen. Let me tell you now, the S Pen is fantastic on this. For the price you pay, obviously, for the phone, mine's on contract, but if you went and bought this brand new, you only get the cable. It's kind of upsetting to see that they no longer add the plug into the mix, because that's the one thing that you technically need to charge your phone. If you haven't got one spare by using, obviously, it is a C to C. Not a lot of people have plugs that are a USB-C to USB-C. They normally have a USB like 3.0 or 3.2 to a USB-C. So I think that's a bit unfair that you make people have to go out and buy a new plug. But again, I can see they are minimizing their packaging, but a plug nowadays can literally squeeze down and fold. Like you look at the iPhone plugs or some of the new Samsung plugs, they fold down and they are very minimal. It's not enough, but you can get plugs. You might even have some spare from old phones, like I have mine from my Note 10. That so far is my conclusion of the S23. Fantastic phone. Still loads that I need to learn about it and all the little features. So maybe in a month I'll do a review again of how I'm getting on with this phone. But so far, I mean, I'm in love with it. It's such a beautiful phone. Like this, just the feel of it, the screen, the back, the cameras, the S Pen, everything. The speakers, the microphone has a equalizer that boosts the bass in your voice and it sounds fantastic. There's so much to it that I'm still yet to learn. So I appreciate everyone watching this video. I appreciate if you are looking at getting this phone and you don't know whether to pay out a load of money for this phone or you want to go for a Note 10. Definitely worth going for the Note 10 if you don't want to spend like stupid amount of money on a Samsung phone that you've not ever used before. Definitely go for a Note 10. But if you are looking for the crispy of crispies, the S23 Ultra is the way to go. This bad boy is 512 gigabytes, I believe. I did opt for the 512 because Tesco Mobile were doing a sort of, if you pre-order the bigger version, we'll give it to you the same price as the 210 gigabytes, I think it is. So the lower version, I guess. So I went for the bigger version because there is no SD slot, unfortunately. It does hold 2 SIM cards, similar to the Note 10. That's basically everything. I've done the unboxing. I've went through a couple of the things about the phone that I like and sort of wish they had. I don't think there's any more else. If there is anything that you would like me to sort of look into or to give my opinion on, definitely leave it in the comments below. Remember to subscribe. But for now, that has been the unboxing / review of the Samsung S23 Ultra. I appreciate you all watching. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment what you want to know about the phone, or if you want me to test anything. But other than that, I'll catch you all later. Take it easy, stay positive and enjoy life. Until next time.